Welcome to Late Night Gaming. My name is Rachel, and today we will be starting Doki Doki Literature Club. Now, if you don't know this game, you're in for a fucking treat. Okay? 4 girls. Visual novel. Writing poetry. If you have seen this game before, if you've played it on your own, I am going to be doing a little special challenge for myself. And it contains this. I will explain more when we get to the part where it'll make more sense, but I'm going to be using this later. So let's just go ahead and hop into the game. My name's Raxel. I know I'm playing as a guy, but we're just gonna skip that. Hey! I have to be able to hear myself. I see an annoying girl running toward me from the distance, waving her arms in the air, like she's totally oblivious to any attention she might draw to herself. That girl is Sayori, my neighbor and good friend since we were children. You know, the kind of friend you'd never see yourself making today, but it just kind of works out because you've known each other for so long. That was a question. We used to walk to school together on days like this, but starting around high school, she would oversleep more and more frequently, and I would get tired of waiting up. But if she's going to chase after me like this, I almost feel better off running away. However, I just sigh and idle in front of the crosswalk and let Sayori catch up to me. I overslept again. But I caught you this time. Maybe, but only because I decided to stop and wait for you. You say that like you were thinking about ignoring me. That's mean, Rachel. Well, if people stare at you for acting weird, then I don't want them to think we're a couple or something. Fine. But you did wait for me after all. I guess you don't have it in you to be mean even if you want to. Whatever you say, Sayori. I hate laughing in games. We cross the street together and make our way to school. As we draw near, the streets become increasingly speckled with other students making their daily commute. By the way, Rachel, have you decided on a club to join yet? A club? I told you already, I'm really not interested in joining any clubs. I haven't been looking either. That's not true. You told me you would join a club this year. Did I? I'm sure it's possible that I did, in one of our many conversations where I dismissively go along with whatever she's going on about. Sayori likes to worry a little too much about me, when I'm perfectly content just getting by on the average, while spending my free time on games and anime. I was talking about how I'm worried that you won't learn how to socialize or have any skills before college. Your happiness is really important to me, you know? And I know you're happy now, but I die at the thought of you becoming a NEET in a few years because you're not used to the real world. You trust me, right? Don't make me keep worrying about you. Alright. I'll look at a few clubs if it makes you happy. No promises, though. Will you at least promise me you'll try a little? Yeah, I guess I'll promise you that. Yay! Why do I let myself get lectured by such a carefree girl? More than that, I'm surprised I even let myself relent to her. I guess seeing her worry so much about me makes me want to ease her mind at least a little bit, even if she does exaggerate everything inside of her head. The school day is as ordinary as ever, and it's over before I know it. After I pack up my things, I stare blankly at the wall, looking for an ounce of motivation. Clubs. He just said that out loud. Sayori wants me to check out some clubs. Can you just imagine, like, you're in the back, like, clubs, and everyone's like... Did he just say clubs out loud? I guess I have no choice but to start with the anime club. Hello? Sayori? Sayori must have come into the classroom while I was spacing out. I look around and realize that I'm the only one left in the classroom. Oh, thank God we were by ourselves. I thought I'd catch you coming out of the classroom, but I saw you just sitting here and spacing out, so I came in. Honestly, you're even worse than me sometimes. I'm impressed. You don't need to wait up for me if it's going to make you late to your own club. Well, I thought you might need some encouragement, so I thought, Know what? Well, that you could come to my club. Sayori. Yeah? There is no way I'm going to your club. Oh, meanie. Sayori is vice president of the literature club. Not that I was ever aware that she had any interest in literature. In fact, I'm 99% sure she only did it because she thought it would be fun to help start a new club. Which is not a bad thing. I hate the protagonist. He's such a fucking dickhead. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one she proposed the club, she inherited... Okay, hold on. Let me reread this. Since she was the first one to show interest after the one who proposed the club, she inherited the title Vice President. That said, my interest in literature is guaranteed to be even less. Yeah, I'm going to the anime club. Come on, please. Why do you care so much anyway? Well, I kind of told the club yesterday I would bring in a new member. And Natsuki made cupcakes and everything. Don't make promises you can't keep. I can't tell if Sayori is really that much of an airhead or if she's so cunning as to have planned all of this out. I let out a long sigh. Fine. I'll stop by for a cupcake, okay? Yes, let's go! And thus, today marks the day I sold my soul for a cupcake. Also, I kind of want to romance all of the girls. So, you may see, like, the same day 3 times, but, like, talking to each of the girls. I want to do it for my completionist soul, okay? I dejectedly follow Sayori across the school and upstairs, a section of the school I rarely visit, being generally used for third-year classes and activities. Sayori, full of energy, swings open the classroom door, and we break a vase that's worth millions of dollars, and now we're inducted into a host club. Everyone, the new member is here! I told you, don't call me a new member. I glance around the room. Welcome to the literature club. It's a pleasure meeting you. Sayori always says nice things about you. Seriously? You brought a boy? Way to kill the atmosphere. Ah, Rachel, what a nice surprise. Welcome to the club. All words escape me in this situation. This club is full of incredibly cute girls. What are you looking at? If you want to say something, say it. Sorry. Natsuki. The girl with the sour attitude, whose name is apparently Suki. Natsuki. God. What is happening? My chair is not cooperating today. Is one I don't recognize. Her small figure makes me think she's probably a first year. She is also the one who made cupcakes, according to Sayori. You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Sayori says that quietly into my ear, then turns back to... You can just ignore her when she gets moody. Back toward the other girls. Anyway, this is Natsuki, always full of energy. And this is Yuri, the smartest in the club. Don't say things like that. Yuri, who appears comparably more mature and timid, seems to have a hard time keeping up with people like Sayori and Natsuki. Well, it's nice to meet both of you. And it sounds like you already know Monica, is that right? Whoops, I clicked out of my game. That's right. It's great to see you again, Rachel. I should have picked another name. This is so weird. Monica smiles sweetly. We do know each other. Well, we rarely talked, but we were in the same class last year. Monica was probably the most popular girl in class. Smart, beautiful, athletic. Basically, completely out of my league. So having her smile at me so genuinely feels a little... You too, Monica. Come sit down, Rachel. We made room for you at the table so you can sit next to me or Monica. I'll get the cupcakes. Hey, I made them. I'll get them. Sorry, I got a little too excited. Then how about I make some tea as well? The girls have a few desks arranged to form a table. As Sayori mentioned, it's been widened so that there is one space next to Monica and one space next to Sayori. Natsuki and Yuri walk over to the corner of the room where Natsuki grabs a wrapped tray and Yuri opens a closet. Still feeling awkward, I take a seat next to Sayori. Natsuki proudly marches back to the table, tray in hand. Okay, are you ready? Ta-da! Whoa! Natsuki lifts a foil off the tray to reveal a dozen white, fluffy cupcakes decorated to look like little cats. The whiskers are drawn with icing, and little pieces of chocolate were used to make ears. So cute! I had no idea you were so good at baking, Natsuki. Well, you know. Just hurry and take one. Sayori grabs one first, then Monica, I follow. It's delicious! Sayori talks with her mouth full and has already managed to get icing on her face. I turn the cupcake around in my fingers, looking for the best angle to take a bite. This particular line just pisses me off. It's like, just bite into it. It's a cupcake. It's round. There's not like a corner you can choose from that is the best corner. It's so he's so dumb. Natsuki is quiet. I can't help but notice her sneaking glances in my direction. Is she waiting for me to take a bite? Sorry, Natsuki, I'm looking for the best corner to take a bite. It's a circle. Oh. I finally bite down. The icing is sweet and full of flavor, as if icing is made out of sugar, you idiot. I wonder if she made it herself. This is really good. Thank you, Natsuki. Why are you thanking me? It's not like Haven't I heard this somewhere before? Made them for you or anything. Huh? I thought you technically did, Sayori said. Well, maybe. But not for you, you know, you, dummy. Alright. I give up on Natsuki's weird logic and dismiss the conversation. Yuri returns to the table carrying a tea set. She carefully places a teacup in front of each of us before setting down the teapot next to the cupcake tray. You keep a whole tea set in the classroom? Don't worry, the teachers gave us permission. After all, doesn't a hot cup of tea help you enjoy a good book? I guess. Don't let yourself get intimidated. Yuri's just trying to impress you. That's not... Insulted, Yuri looks away. I meant that, you know. I believe you. Well, tea and reading might not be a pastime for me, but I at least enjoy tea. See, this line, I feel, needs to be reworded. It's like... This right here, it just sounds like he doesn't like tea and reading. I know what he's saying, like, drinking tea and reading at the same time is not a pastime. But then to follow it up with, but at least I enjoy tea. I just feel like, well, reading might not be a pastime for me, but at least I enjoy tea. That way it's like, I don't know, it just... I feel like this line in particular needs to be reworded for some reason. I'm glad. Yuri faintly smiles to herself in relief. Monica raises an eyebrow, then smiles at me. So, what made you consider the literature club? I was afraid of this question. Something tells me I shouldn't tell Monica that I was practically dragged here by Sayori. Well, I haven't joined any clubs yet, and Sayori seemed really happy here, so... That's okay, don't be embarrassed. We'll make sure you feel right at home, okay? As president of the literature club, it's my duty to make the club fun and exciting for everyone. Monica, I'm surprised. how come you decided to start your own club? You could probably be a board member for any of the major clubs. Weren't you the leader of the debate club last year? Well, you know. To be honest, I can't stand all of the politics around the major clubs. It feels like nothing but arguing about the budget and publicity and how to prepare for events. I'd much rather take something I personally enjoy and make something special out of it. And if it encourages others to get into literature, then I'm fulfilling that dream. Monica really is a great leader. Yuri also nods in agreement. Then I'm surprised there aren't more people in the club yet. It must be hard to start a new club. You could put it that way. Not many people are very interested in putting out all the effort to start something brand new. Especially when it's something that doesn't grab your attention, like literature. You have to work hard to convince people that you're both fun and worthwhile. But it makes school events like the festival that much more important. I'm confident that we can all really grow this club before we graduate. Right, everyone? Yeah! We'll do our best. You know it! Everyone enthusiastically agrees. Such different girls, all interested in the same goal. Monica must have worked really hard just to find these three. Maybe that's why they were all so delighted by the idea of a new member joining. Though I still don't really know if I can keep up with their level of enthusiasm about literature. So Rachel, what kinds of things do you like to read? Well, considering how little I've read these past few years, I don't really have a good way of answering that. Manga? I mutter quietly to myself, half joking. Natsuki's head suddenly perks up. It looks like she wants to say something, but she keeps quiet. Not much of a reader, I guess. Well, that can change. What am I saying? I spoke without thinking after seeing Yuri's sad smile. Anyway, what about you, Yuri? Well, let's see. Yuri traces the rim of her teacup with her finger. My favorites are usually novels that build deep and complex fantasy worlds. The level of creativity and craftsmanship behind them is amazing to me. And telling a good story in such a foreign world is equally impressive. Yuri goes on, clearly passionate about her reading. Oh, I just had an idea. You know what? I read, unlike our protagonist. And I just... Hold on. I just thought of something. Maybe I should recommend a book each video. If you like fantasy... Oh my god. I read this book years ago. Like in 2018. And I read it and I loved it. And then I never read the second book. So I just got done reading this one. And I was like, I'm ready to read the second one. Strange to the Dreamer by Laini Taylor. Oh my god. It's kind of like a slow burn. But Laszlo, the protagonist, he is so stinking sweet. I love him to death. And like, I'm excited for the second book. And I am not... it's funny, it's ironic that we're playing like a romantic visual novel. But when it comes to like romance and books, I'm very picky. Because generally, I do not give a shit about the characters enough to care about their romance. Even in like popular media. I'm just really picky about like pairings, you know? So, Laszlo and Sarai. Oh my god. It's kind of like insta-love, but god damn it is so cute. I just don't care. It's so cute. So, if you like fantasy, if you like a good romance, just read it. Just read it. Read it! That's my recommendation of this video, for this video. She seemed so reserved and timid since the moment I walked in, and it's but it's obvious by the way her eyes light up that she finds her comfort in the world of books, not people. But you know, I like a lot of things. Stories with deep psychological elements usually immerse me as well. Isn't it amazing how a writer can so deliberately take advantage of your own lack of imagination to completely throw you for a loop? Anyway, I've been reading a lot of horror lately, which I read horror too. See, I don't know what to recommend because some of the stuff I read is pretty gnarly, but I have recommendations. I read a horror book once. I desperately grasped something I can relate to at the minimal level. At this rate, Yuri might as well be having a conversation with a rock. Really? I wouldn't have expected that, Yuri. For someone as gentle as you. I guess you could say that. But if a story makes me think or takes me into another world, then I really can't put it down. Surreal horror is often very successful at changing the way you look at the world, if only for a brief moment. Ugh, I hate horror. Oh, why is that? Well, Natsuki's eyes dart over to me for a split second. Never mind. That's right, you usually like to write about cute things, don't you, Natsuki? Oh, I clicked on my game again. What is happening? Okay, we're going this way. What? What gives you that idea? You left a scrap of paper behind last club meeting. It looked like you were working on a poem called... Don't say it out loud! And give me that back. Fine, fine. Your cupcakes, your poems, everything you do is just as cute as you are. Sayori sidles up behind Natsuki and puts her hands on her shoulders. I'm not cute. Natsuki, you write your own poems? Well, I guess sometimes. Why do you care? I think that's impressive. Why don't you share them sometime? No. Natsuki averts her eyes. You wouldn't like them. Not a very confident writer yet. I understand how Natsuki feels. Sharing that level of writing takes more than just confidence. The truest form of writing is writing to oneself. You must be willing to open up to your readers, exposing your vulnerabilities and showing even the deepest reaches of your heart. Do you have writing experience too, Yuri? Maybe if you share some of your work, you can set an example and help Natsuki feel comfortable enough to share hers. I guess it's the same for Yuri. I want to read everyone's poems. We all sit in silence for a moment. Okay, I have an idea, everyone. Natsuki and Yuri look quizzically at Monika. Let's all go home and write a poem of our own. The next time we meet, we'll all share them with each other. That way everyone is even. Yeah, let's do it. Plus, now that we have a new member, I think it will help us get a little more comfortable with each other and strengthen the bond of the club. Isn't that right, Rachel? Monika smiles warmly at me once again. Hold on, there's still one problem. Huh? What's that? Now that we're back to the original topic of me joining the club, I bluntly come forth with what's been on my mind the entire time. I never said I would join this club. Sayori may have convinced me to stop by, but I never made any decision. I still have other clubs to look at and, Oh, you depressed them. I lose my train of thought. All four girls stare back at me with dejected eyes. But... I'm sorry, I thought... Rachel... You all... I'm defenseless against these girls. How am I supposed to make a clear-headed decision when it's like this? That is, if writing poems is the price I need to pay in order to spend every day with these beautiful girls. This is weird. It wasn't weird. when I played it with friends, but for some reason, like, playing it with all of you guys, it's just... Right. Okay, I've decided then. I'll join the literature club. One by one, the girls' eyes light up. Yes! I'm so happy! Sayori wraps her arms around me, jumping up and down. Hey! You really did scare me for a moment. If you really just came here for the cupcakes, I would be super pissed. That makes it official. Welcome to the literature club. Thanks, I guess. Okay, everyone. I think with that, we can officially end today's meeting on a good note. Everyone remember tonight's assignment. Write a poem to bring to the next meeting so we can all share. Monica looks over at me once more. Rachel, I look forward to seeing how you express yourself. Yeah. Can I really impress the class star Monica with my mediocre writing skills? Aw, says you. Says you. I've been writing for a very long time. My skills maybe are possibly mediocre. They're not on this level. They're not on this level, but I think I can spin a good story. I don't know. I already feel the anxiety welling up inside me. Meanwhile, the girls continue to chit-chat as Yuri and Natsuki clean up their food. Hey Rachel, since we're already here, do you want to walk home together? That's right, Sayori and I never walk home together anymore because she's always stayed after school for clubs. Sure, might as well. Yay! With that, the two of us depart the club room and make our way home. The whole way, my mind wanders back and forth between the four girls. Sayori, Natsuki, Yuri, and of course, Monica. Will I really be happy spending every day after school in a literature club? Perhaps I'll have the chance to grow closer to one of these girls. Alright. I'll just need to make the most of my circumstances, and I'm sure good fortune will find me. And I guess that starts with writing a poem tonight. Let me set this up so I can explain it to you guys. So, the challenge I'm going to give myself. So if you're not familiar with this game, there are 20 words that you have to pick, and each word impresses a different girl. So like Wrath is probably Yuri. She likes more like depressing, complicated words, so maybe uncontrollable could also be her. Natsuki is like exclusively like the cutesy words, like definitely kitty, kawaii, stuff like that. And then Sayori is a mix between the two. I feel like her words could be described as bittersweet, which is something she talks about later on in the game. She's a blend. So with Sayori, it's kind of like you think it's a Yuri word, but it actually ends up being a Sayori word. So my challenge for myself is I am going to use the 20 words that I put toward each girl. And I have 3 different saves because I'm going to do like 3 routes. I'm going to do all the routes. For me. That's a me thing. Sorry if you don't like that. Maybe I'll put like chapters in this series. So if there's like a girl that you want to see the route of specifically, you can jump to that chapter. I have to figure that out though. But with the 20 words that I'm putting toward the girl, I will make my own poem, and it will have those 20 words in it. And I kind of want to replicate. I'm gonna have to do it off camera, and then just you'll see like editor me jump in to talk about the poems that I wrote, because that's just too much for a recording session. But I kind of want to try and replicate the styles that each girl has. I don't know. I just thought it would be a little bit different because I've played this game so much. I want to like change it up for me. So sorry if that's not really your cup of tea, but that's what I'm gonna be doing. So I'll write down the words later. But we'll start with Sayori, and then Natsuki, and then Yuri will be last. So let's see if I can do this right. I'm gonna say comfort. Yes! Adventure. Yes! Love. Fuck you. Okay. Wonderful. I'm so good at this. Blanket? Oh, that's Natsuki. Even if it's not like associated with the girl that I'm going for, I'll still use it. Friends. Okay. I thought that was... Okay. Alright. Fuck you. Unrequited. Okay. 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 Color? Maybe? Okay. Happiness. Treasure. I have no idea how these poems are gonna come out. I have no idea. Bed. Okay. Because she can't get up out of bed on time. Kiss. That's Natsuki. Childhood. Laugh. Vacation. Together. And dance. And oh, that was a Natsuki word. Hi again, Rachel. Glad to see you didn't run away on us. We'll go through Sayori's route and then we'll jump back to we'll jump back to the other saves. No, don't worry. This might be a little strange for me, but I at least keep my word. Well, I'm back at the literature club. I was the last to come in, so everyone else is already hanging out. Thanks for keeping your promise, Rachel. I hope this isn't too overwhelming of a commitment for you, making you dive headfirst into literature when you're not accustomed to it. I do have a second grade reading level. Oh, come on, like he deserves any slack. Sayori told me you didn't even want to join any clubs this year. And last year, too. I don't know if you plan to just come here and hang out or what, but if you don't take us seriously, then you won't see the end of it. Natsuki, you certainly have a big mouth for someone who keeps her manga collection in the club room. Natsuki finds herself stuck between saying Monica and manga. Manga is literature. Swiftly defeated, Natsuki plops back into her seat. Don't worry, guys. Rachel always gives it... This is a strange name for a man. Rachel always gives it his best as long as he's having fun. Can I change my name? Help! No. I'm just gonna use... She helps me with busy work without even asking. Like cooking, cleaning my room. How dependable. Sayori, that's because your room is so messy it's distracting. And you almost set your house on fire once. Is that so? You two are really good friends, aren't you? I might be a little jealous. How come? You and Rachel can become good friends too. Sayori. As usual, Sayori seems oblivious to the weird situation she just put me into. Oh, Yuri even brought you something today, you know. Wait, Sayori? Me? Not really. Don't be shy. It's really nothing. What is it? Never mind. Sayori made it sound like a big deal when it's really not. What do I do? I'm sorry, Yuri, I wasn't thinking. I guess that means it's up to me to rescue the situation. Hey, don't worry about it. First of all, I wasn't expecting anything in the first place. So, any nice gesture from you is a pleasant surprise. It'll make me happy no matter what. Is that so? Yeah, I won't make it a big deal if you don't want it to be. Alright. Well, here. Yuri reaches into her bag and pulls out a book. I didn't want you to feel left out. So I picked out a book that I thought you might enjoy. It's a short read, so it should keep your attention, even if you don't usually read. And we could, discuss it if you wanted. How is this girl accidentally being so cute? She even picked out a book she thinks I'll like, despite me not reading much. Yuri, thank you. I'll definitely read this. He definitely won't read it. He doesn't know how to read. I enthusiastically take the book. Phew. Well, you can read it at your own pace. I look forward to hearing what you think. Now that everyone's settled in, I expected Monica to kick off some scheduled activities for the club, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Sayori and Monica are having a cheery conversation in the corner. Yuri's face is already buried in a book. I can't help but notice her intense expression, like she was waiting for this chance. Meanwhile, Natsuki is rummaging around in the closet. Man, it looks like no one wants to be bothered today. I slumped down into the nearest desk. How am I supposed to occupy myself with something literature related by myself like this? I don't know. It's like reading is like a singular person activity. Unless you don't know how to read, boyo, and you need someone to read to you. I guess I could always read some of the book Yuri gave me. But I'm feeling a little too tired to read. Actually, that is so relatable. Reading puts me to sleep. Like, that is why I've been trying to read an hour before I go to bed, because it will knock my lights out. I could probably fall asleep right now. I close my eyes and end up listening in on Sayori's conversation with Monica. We're probably gonna seem really lame compared to all the other clubs, though. Well, we can't give up. The festival is our chance to show everyone that literature is all about. Oh, what literature is all about? Maybe I can't read. The problem is that the idea of a literature club sounds too dense and intellectual. But it's not like that at all, you know? We just need a way of showing that to everyone. Something that speaks to their creative minds. That doesn't solve the problem, though. Huh? What do you mean? Even if we come up with the most fun thing ever, nobody will come in the first place if it's a literature event. So it's more important to figure out how to get people to show up in the first place, you know? And after they come, we can do the thing to speak to their creative minds. What's this? Sayori is taking this really seriously. It's rare to hear her deliberating like this. That's a good point. In that case, do you think food will do the trick? Oh, what kind? Well, I guess we could... Cupcakes. Good thinking. Natsuki would love to do that. You're right. Natsuki makes the best cupcakes. That works out perfectly. That wasn't why you suggested it. Cupcakes speak to my creative tummy. Cupcakes it is, then. I'm hungry. Anyway, we still need to work out the details of the event itself. I find myself smiling. In the end, Sayori is still her usual self. But therein lies the unexpected reason I admire her. He does not admire her. I'm sorry, but like that is not the vibe that he gives off in the very beginning. I think that's one thing about this game that I don't like is that he is so wishy-washy. He's like the worst person ever. He's so bad. Unlike me, who has trouble finding any motivation at all, Sayori can put her mind to things and make them come to life. I suppose that's why I end up letting her get on my case about things. I can't help but wonder what it would be like to see the world through her eyes. Oh god, I see her through my eyes. I open my eyes to find Sayori's face filling my vision. I nearly fall out of my chair. Sorry. Oh, wait. Actually, I'm not sorry at all. It's your fault for sleeping like that. This isn't the napping club. Does our school have a napping club? You're staying up late again, aren't you? Now that you're in a club, you're gonna have less time for anime, you know? You'll need to get used to it. Don't say that out loud. I glance over my shoulder to see if Monica overheard. I don't think she did. It's true, though. Yeah, I know. You're always looking out for me, Sayori. It's what I do best. That's a problem. What about you? You look out for me better than you look out for yourself. You're still oversleeping every day, aren't you? Not every day. That's not very convincing. How many days this past week have you gotten up on time? It's a secret. I knew it. Come on. At least give me the benefit of the doubt. I can't even do that. Look, Sayori, it's written all over you. Huh? Sayori glances around at herself. How is it written all over me? You were clearly in a rush this morning. Look, your hair is sticking out all around here. That's because she's an anime girl, dude. It's not because... That's just how things go. Nah. I run my fingertips down the side of Sayori's hair, trying to straighten it out. Dude, he's too comfortable. I would be like, don't touch me. Man, you really need a brush for this. I don't like how my name is attached. I did not think about that. I may change it. My hair is really hard to get right. Dude, I relate. I won't fall for that. There's more than just your hair. Look, your bow isn't straight either. And there's a toothpaste stain on your collar right there. I try to wipe off the stain with my finger. But nobody would ever notice that. Of course they would. Nobody's gonna tell you about it because they don't want to embarrass you. Fortunately, I really don't care about that. I'll humiliate you if I wanted to. Hey, you meanie. And you don't even keep your blazer buttoned up. Seriously, Sayori, why do you think you don't have a boyfriend yet? That's super mean. Sorry, but you'll thank me later. I start to button her blazer from the bottom. This guy, I hate him. Once you see how much better it looks, you'll change your mind. This is so funny. What is? Well, see, she doesn't look comfortable. Get your hands away from there, dude. I was just thinking how weird it is to have a friend who does these kinds of things. Huh? Don't say that. You'll make me feel weird about it, stupid. He's so mean. It's okay, though. I'm happy we're like this. Aren't you? I guess. Hey, be careful. The button might come off. Why is this one so hard to close? I struggle to fully close the button near her chest. Does this thing even fit you properly? My brother's asleep right now. Probably shouldn't be so loud. It did when I bought it. If you ever buttoned it, you would have noticed sooner that it doesn't fit you anymore. What are you smiling about? It means my boobs have gotten bigger again. Stop. Don't say that out loud. Anyway, you look much better now, so, why does it feel strange to see Sayori's blazer buttoned up like that? But it's stuffy. Ugh. It's not worth it at all. Sayori hastily unbuttons her blazer once more. Phew. That's so much better. Sayori puts her arms out and twirls around. So if I keep it unbuttoned, then I won't get a boyfriend, right? Well, what kind of logic is that? And why are you saying that like it's a good thing? Because if I had a boyfriend, then he wouldn't even let you do things like this. And you take care of me better than anyone else would anyway. So that's why I'm keeping it unbuttoned. Stop saying all these embarrassing things. Huh? I didn't say anything embarrassing. Jeez. Well, anyway, just focus on trying to wake up a little earlier. Only if you focus on going to bed earlier. Fine, fine. It's a deal. I guess we really are better at taking care of each other than we are at taking care of ourselves. Yeah, I guess so, huh? So maybe you should come wake me up in the morning. You're doing it again, Sayori. Oh, but I was joking that time. Man, it's impossible to tell with you sometimes. Okay, everyone. Huh? Monica suddenly calls out. Why don't we share the poems we wrote now? Yay! Rachel, I can't wait to read yours. Well, yeah, same. I fail to sound enthusiastic, but Sayori still trots away to retrieve her poem. By the way, did you remember to write a poem last night? Yeah, I wrote 3 of them. My relaxation ends. I can't believe I agreed to do something so embarrassing. I couldn't really find much inspiration since I've never really done this before. Well, now that everyone's ready, why don't you find someone to share with? I can't wait! Sayori and Monica enthusiastically pull out their poems. Sayori is on a wrinkled sheet of loose leaf torn from a spiral notebook. On the other hand, Monica wrote hers in a composition notebook just like this one. This one is so weird looking though. I don't like it. I can already see Moniko's pristine handwriting from where I sit. Natsuki and Yuri reluctantly comply as well, reaching into their bags. I do the same myself. Who should I show my poem to first? Let's do Sayori. I'm definitely most comfortable sharing it with Sayori first. She's my good friend after all. Okay, so I wrote my first poem for Sayori. Okay. As I was writing this, also this is future me. I guess. Editor me. Even though I'm wearing the same shirt. It's my pajamas. I just come home from work and I like edit and record and all that. I put my PJs on and I do shit. But, so as I was, these poems, like, Sayori's and Natsuki's were, like, kind of easy to write, but Yuri's, oh my god. I don't even know if these are considered poems, to be honest. Or hers, at least. But Sayori's, I did not give a title to. I guess I would just title it Her Love for You. So, this is so embarrassing. But okay. Here it is. Her love for you is the color of summer, wonderful like the warm kiss of sunny rays caressing your skin through an open window. Her love for you is one of comfort, like snuggling together under a cozy blanket, lost in childhood memories and shared laughter. Her love for you makes her want to dance. She would treasure such a moment of closeness with you, a seemingly never-ending adventure of twirling and gliding and gentle touches. But her love for you is unrequited. Did I say that right? Unrequited? She knows this. She sees the way you look at her friends, ways that you don't look at her. Do you care about her happiness like she does yours, I wonder? I would assume not. What with the way you always scold her for not getting out of bed on time, never asking, why, Sayori? Her love for you makes her want to commit suicide. An eternal vacation just for her. So that is my poem for Sayori. It was, like, surprisingly difficult. It took me a couple hours to, or an hour and a half to write 3 poems using 20 words from that list. Oh my gosh. That was, yeah, it was a challenge. So, I hope you liked Sayori's poem. Anyway, back to the game. Oh my goodness. This is so good, Rachel. Huh? I love it. I had no idea you were such a good writer. Sayori, you must be seriously overreacting. I'm not a good writer at all. I honestly have no idea what I'm doing. Well, maybe that's why. Because I have no idea what I like either. Jeez. I'm sure Yuri's opinion has to be a little more constructive than this. Maybe even Natsuki's. Are you sure you don't like it because I wrote it? Eh? Well, I'm sure that's part of it. I think I understand you better than a lot of other people, you know? So when I read your poem, it's not just a poem, it's a Rachel poem. And that makes it feel extra special. Like I can feel your feelings in it. Sayori hugs the sheet against her chest. You're so weird, Sayori. I'm really happy that you just that you wrote one. I feel like that should have been different too. I'm sorry, I just noticed. I feel like it should have been, I'm just really happy that you wrote one. I'm really happy just that you wrote one. It's just, maybe I shouldn't point that stuff out. It's just stuff that, jumps out to me. I really love this game, though. It's almost 1 o'clock. It just reminds me of how... just like that. It just reminds me of how you're really a part of the club now. I am not a snob, I promise, because there are times when I forget to write how to write how or who. Have you ever had a brain fart like that where the simplest of words you're just like, what? I forgot. Not to mention the fact that I'm standing in front of you in the club room? Question mark? Well, of course. I'm not really into it yet, but that doesn't mean I'll break my promise. See? It's like I said before, Rachel. Deep down, you're not selfish at all, you know? Trying new things like this for other people. That's something that only really good people do. Thanks, Sayori. I'm not sure if Sayori sees the full picture of my motive here. Then again, I can't deny that she's part of the reason I joined. Knowing how much this means to her and all. Yeah, and I'm gonna make sure you have lots of fun here, okay? That will be my way of thanking you. Alright, I'm going to hold you to that then. Yay! Now you'll read my poem too, right? Don't worry, I'm really bad at this. We'll see about that. Dear Sunshine, the way you glow through my blinds in the morning, it makes me feel like you missed me, kissing my forehead to help me out of bed, making me rub the sleepy from my eyes. Are you asking me to come out and play? Are you trusting me to wish away a rainy day? I look above, the sky is blue. It's a secret, but I trust you too. If it wasn't for you, I could sleep forever, but I'm not mad. I want breakfast. Sayori, this is just a guess, but did you wait until this morning to write this? No, just a little bit. You can't answer just a little bit to a yes or no question. I forgot to do it last night. Well, at least that makes me feel a little bit better about myself. Don't be mean. I still tried my best. Yeah. I didn't mean to say that it was a bad poem. It came out nice, or how should I put it? It sounds just like you. Really? Yeah. Especially that last line. I made eggs and toast. Even though you were late to school. It's bad to skip breakfast. I get all cranky. Well, I guess there's no point in arguing. Anyway, thanks for showing me. This was so much fun. Monica's the best. Yeah. But next time, I won't forget. And I'm gonna write the best poem ever. Well, I guess I look forward to it. We'll go with Netsuke next. Well, it's about what I expected from someone like you. That's a little blunt. Well, excuse me. It's not like I said it was bad. It just didn't evoke any emotions. So basically, it's not cute enough for your tastes. Do you want to get smacked? I'll pass. Well, anyway, I guess I need to show you mine. Not that you'll like it. I actually love this poem. Eagles can fly. Monkeys can climb. Crickets can leap. Horses can Eagles can fly. Ew, did someone just come out? Monkeys can climb, crickets can leap, horses can race, owls can seek, cheetahs can run, eagles can fly, people can try, but that's about it. Yeah, I told you that you weren't gonna like it. I like it. What? Just be honest. I am. Why are you so convinced that I wouldn't like it? Well, because everyone in high school thinks that writing has to be all sophisticated and stuff, so people don't even take my writing seriously. But isn't the point of poems for people to express themselves? Your writing style wouldn't make your message any less valid. Yes, exactly. I like when it's easy to read, but it hits you hard. Like in this poem. Seeing everyone around you do great things can be really disheartening, so I decided to write about it. Yeah, I understand. But the other nice thing about simple writing is that it puts more weight on the wordplay. Like I set up for a rhyme at the end, but then made it fall flat on purpose. That helps bring out the feeling in the last line. So you did. I guess more went into it than I realized. That's what it means to be a pro. I'm glad you learned something. Didn't expect that from the youngest one here, did you? Yeah, guess not. I decided to humor her with that last comment. I don't really care how old everyone is, but if Natsuki is feeling proud, then I won't take that away from her. We're gonna go with Yuri next. Yuri stares at the poem. A minute passes, more than enough time for her to finish reading. Sorry. I forgot to start speaking. It's fine, don't force yourself. I'm not. I just need to put my thoughts into words. Hold on. Okay. This is your first time writing a poem, right? Yeah? Why do you ask? I'm just making sure. I guess that it might be after reading through it. So it's that bad. No! Did I just raise my voice? I'm so sorry. Yuri buries her face in her hands. I couldn't help but notice that it's been several minutes and we really haven't gotten anywhere. It might take Yuri a while to get used to new people. It's fine, I really didn't notice. What were you saying? Right, it's just that there are specific writing habits that are usually typical of new writers, and having been through that myself, I kind of learned to pick up on them. I think the most noticeable thing I recognize in new writers is that they try to make their style very deliberate. In other words, they tend to pick a writing style separate from the topic matter, and they fit the two together. The end result is that both the style and the expressiveness are weakened. Once Yuri finds her train of thought, it's as if her demeanor totally changes. Her stammering is completely gone and she sounds like an expert. Of course, that's not something you can be blamed for. There are many different skills and techniques that go into writing even a single poem. Simple poem. Not just finding them and building them, but getting them to work together is probably the most challenging part. It might take you some time, but it all comes with practice and learning by example and trying new things. I also hope that everyone else in the club gives you valuable feedback. Natsuki can be a little bit biased, though. Biased? How? Never mind. I shouldn't be talking about people like that. Sorry. It's fine. I'm not sure if Yuri is apologizing to herself, to me, or to Natsuki. Do you mind if I read your poem now? Please do. I'd love to share my thought process behind it. Yuri smiles dreamily as if that's a rare opportunity for her, which itself is kind of funny. After all, isn't this supposed to be a literature club? Ghost under the light. The tendrils of my hair illuminate beneath the amber glow, bathing. It must be this one, the last remaining streetlight to have withstood the test of time. The last yet to be replaced by the sickening blue-green hue of the future. I bathe, calm, breathing air of the present but living in the past. The light flickers. I flicker back. I'm sorry I have such terrible handwriting. What? I wasn't thinking that at all, but it took you a long time to read. Well, I just don't read script very often. I actually think your handwriting is pretty. Huh? That's a relief. Also, I liked the poem. Even though it's short, it was really descriptive. It wasn't too short? I usually write longer poems. Not at all. I'm really glad you like it. I'll be honest. Since it's our first time sharing, I wanted to write something a little more mild. Something easy to Something easy to digest, I suppose. Are you into ghosts, Yuri? Actually, the story isn't about a ghost at all, Rachel. Really? I must have totally missed the point. Well, I suppose you did only glance over it after all. But remember that poets often express their own thoughts, feelings, and experiences into their work. They usually do more than tell a simple story or paint a picture. In this case, perhaps the subject of the poem is only being symbolically compared to a ghost, lingering in her last remaining place of comfort, unable to let go of the past, and soon to be left with nothing. That's a lot more solemn putting it that way. I hadn't even thought of that. That's impressive. It's nothing really. Well, it makes me happy that you think that. Just remember that it won't be long before you pick up these things too. Yeah, maybe you're right. I guess I'll have to keep trying. I'm counting on you. And Monica. It's just Monica left. Hi, Rachel. Having a good time so far? Yeah. Good, glad to hear it. By the way, since you're new and everything, if you ever have any suggestions for the club, like new activities or things we can do better, I'm always listening. Don't be afraid to bring things up, okay? Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Of course I'll be afraid to bring things up. I'm much better off just going with the flow until I'm more settled in. That's me. Maybe this is me. Maybe I am the protagonist. Maybe that's me. Anyway, want to share your poem with me? It's kind of embarrassing, but I guess I have to. Don't worry, Rachel. We're all a little embarrassed today, you know? But it's that sort of barrier that we'll all learn to get past soon. Yeah, that's true. I hand Monica my poem. I like this one. It makes me think of something Sayori would like. Is that so? You and Sayori are really good friends, right? I wouldn't be surprised if you had those sorts of things in common. Ah, well. We may be good friends, but Sayori and I are actually really different. Well, that may be the case. But maybe there are also some similarities that you wouldn't expect. The way she talks about you. It sounds like the two of you really care about each other's well-being. Even if you show it in different ways, it ends up being more similar than that. It ends up being more similar than you'd think. So I think that's kind of the vibe I get when reading your poem. You sure you're not reading into it too much? I could be. Oh gosh, you sound like Yuri. But in any case, Sayori's writing has kind of a gentle feel to it. I can tell that she likes exploring with emotions like happiness and sadness. Who knew that someone so happy could enjoy sad things too? Yeah, that's totally unexpected. Well, to each their own, and you shouldn't be afraid to experiment a little bit either. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. I'd love to see you try new things. That's the best way to find the kind of style that suits you. Everyone else might be a little bit biased towards their own kinds of styles, but I'll always help you find what suits you the most. So don't force yourself to write the way everyone else wants to write. It's not like you have to worry about impressing them or anything. Anyway, do you want to read my poem now? Don't worry, I'm not very good. You sound pretty confident for someone who claims to not be very good. Well, that's because I have to sound confident. That doesn't mean I always feel that way, you know? I see. Well, let's read it then. Hole in wall. It couldn't have been me. See the direction the sparkle protrudes? The spackle? Spackle protrudes? A noisy neighbor, an angry boyfriend? I'll never know. I wasn't home. I peer inside for a clue. No, I can't see. I reel, blind, like a film left out in the sun. But it's too late. My retinas. Already scorched with a permanent copy of a meaningless image. It's just a little hole. It wasn't too bright. It was too deep, stretching forever into everything. A hole of infinite choices. I realize now that I wasn't looking in. I was looking out. And he, on the other side, was looking in. So, what do you think? It's very free form, if that's what you call it. Sorry, I'm not really the right person to ask for feedback. It's okay. Yeah, that kind of style has gotten pretty popular nowadays. That is, a lot of poems have been putting emphasis on the timing between words and lines. When performed out loud, it can be really powerful. What was the inspiration behind this one? Well, I'm not sure if I know how to put it. I guess you could say that I had some kind of epiphany recently. it's been influencing my poems a bit. An epiphany? Yeah, something like that. I'm kind of nervous to talk about deep stuff like that because it's kind of coming out strongly. Maybe after everyone is better friends with each other. Anyway, here's Monica's writing tip of the day. Sometimes when you're writing a poem or a story, your brain gets too fixated on a specific point. If you try so hard to make it perfect, then you'll never make any progress. Just force yourself to get something down on the paper and tidy up later. That's why I've never finished a project. I get so, like... I did NaNoWriMo a few years ago, and I actually accomplished it. I didn't get the whole novel written, but I did get like 50,000 words. And if anyone who doesn't know what NaNoWriMo is, it stands for National Novel Writing Month. And it's a challenge that writers will do. And you have to write 50,000 words in a month. And 50,000 words is like the typical novel length. It's like, I think the first Harry Potter book, to put it in perspective, is less than 50,000 words. Let me look that up, because I was just curious one day. So the first Harry Potter book, I was wrong, is 76,944 words. So a little bit over 50,000. But I got to a point in my story where I was just like, I kept thinking back to other chapters and seeing all the errors that I made, and the perfectionist in me could not go forward. So I just started from the beginning again and never went anywhere with it. That's my curse. Like, I am the perfectionist. And if I don't do something perfect, I get really frustrated. Maybe that's why I don't have many hobbies, because I don't like the learning process. It's really frustrating for me. But that's a mindset. Like, just writing something down is something that I have to accomplish. Like, that is a task for me. Another way to think about it is this. If you keep your pen in the same spot for too long, you'll just get a big dark puddle of ink. So just move your hand and go with the flow. That's my advice for today. Thanks for listening. Phew. I guess that's everyone. I glanced around the room. That was a little more stressful than I anticipated. It's as if everyone is judging me for my mediocre writing abilities. Even if they're just being nice, there's no way my poems can stand up to theirs. This is a literature club after all. I sigh. I guess that's what I ended up getting myself into. Across the room, Sayori and Monica are happily chatting. My eyes land on Yuri and Natsuki. They gingerly exchange sheets of paper, sharing their respective poems. As they read in tandem, I watch each of their expressions change. Natsuki's eyebrows furrow in frustration. Meanwhile, Yuri smiles sadly. What is with this language? Huh? Did you say something? No. Oh, it's nothing. Natsuki dismissively returns the poem to the desk with one hand. I guess you could say it's fancy. Thanks. Yours is cute. Cute? Did you completely miss the symbolism or something? It's clearly about the feeling of giving up. How can that be cute? I know that. I just meant the language, I guess. I was trying to say something nice. You mean you have to try that hard to come up with something nice to say? Thanks, but it really didn't come out nice at all. Well, I do have a couple suggestions. If I was looking for suggestions, I would have asked someone who actually liked it. Which people did, by the way. Sayori liked it, and Rachel did too. So based on that, I'll gladly give you some suggestions of my own. First of all, excuse me. I appreciate the offer, but I've spent a long time establishing my writing style. I don't expect it to change anytime soon, unless of course I come across something particularly inspiring. Which I haven't yet. And Rachel liked my poem too, you know. She even told me she was impressed by it. Natsuki suddenly stands up. Oh? I didn't realize you were so invested in trying to impress our new member, Yuri. That's not what I... You're just... Yuri stands up as well. Maybe you're just jealous that Rachel appreciates my advice more than she appreciates yours. Huh? And how do you know she didn't appreciate my advice more? Are you that full of yourself? No. If I was full of myself, I would deliberately go out of my way to make everything I do overly cutesy. Is everyone okay? Well, you know what? I wasn't the one whose boobs magically grew a size bigger as soon as Rachel started showing it. I don't like that. I don't like that I used my name. Why did I do that? Natsuki? Natsuki, that's a little... This doesn't involve you. I don't like fighting, guys. Suddenly, both girls turned towards me as if they just noticed I was standing there. Rachel, she's just trying to make me look bad. That's not true. She started it. If she could just get over herself and learn to appreciate that simple writing is more effective, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. What's the point in making your poems all convoluted for no reason? The meaning should jump out at the reader, not force them to have to figure it out. Help me explain that to her, Rachel. Wait. There's a reason we have so many deep and expressive words in our language. It's the way to convey complex feelings and meaning the most effectively. Avoiding them is not only unnecessarily limiting yourself, it's also a waste. You understand that, right, Rachel? Well? How did I get dragged into this in the first place? It's not like I know anything about writing. But whomever I agree with, they'll probably think more highly of me. So of course that's going to be... We're going to Sayori. Natsuki. Natsuki glares at me, drying up any words I had in my mouth. So instead I turn to Yuri. Yuri. But Yuri's expression is so defenseless that I can't bring myself to say anything to her. Sayori. Eh? Yeah. Everyone's fighting is making Sayori uncomfortable. How can the two of you keep fighting when you know you're making your friend feel like this? Rachel. Well, that's her problem. This isn't about her. I agree. It's unfair for others to interject their own feelings into our conflict. Yeah, unless Sayori wants to tell Yuri what a stuck-up jerk she's being, she would never. It's your immaturity that's made her upset in the first place. Excuse me? Are you listening to yourself? This is exactly why nobody likes... Stop! Natsuki, Yuri, you guys are my friends. I just want everyone to get along and be happy. My friends are wonderful people, and I love them because of their differences. Natsuki's poems, they're amazing because they give you so many feelings with just a few words. And Yuri's poems are amazing because they paint beautiful pictures in your head. Everyone's so talented. So why are we fighting? Because... Well... Also, Natsuki's cute and there's nothing wrong with that. And Yuri's boobs are the same as they always were. Big and beautiful. I can't sometimes. Sayori stands triumphantly. Monica stands behind her with a bewildered expression. I'll make some tea. Yuri rushes off. Natsuki sits down with a blank expression on her face, staring at nothing. So this is why Sayori is vice president? I whisper to Monica. So this is why Sayori is vice president? She nods in return. To be honest, I might come off as a good leader and I can organize things, but I'm not very good with people. I couldn't even bring myself to interject. As president, it's kind of embarrassing of me. Nah, it's not like I can blame you. I wasn't able to say anything either. Well, I guess that just means Sayori is amazing in her own ways, isn't she? You could say that. She might be an airhead, but sometimes it's weirdly suspicious that she knows exactly what she's doing. I see. Take good care of her, okay? I would hate to see her get herself hurt. That makes two of us. You can count on me. Monica smiles sweetly at me, causing my stomach to knot. Such a genuine person really does make a good president regardless of what she says. If only I could get the chance to talk to her a little more. Okay, everyone, it's just about time for us to leave. How did you all feel about sharing poems? It was a lot of fun. Well, I'd say it was worth it. It was alright. Well, mostly. Rachel, how about you? Yeah, I'd say the same. It was a neat thing to talk about with everyone. Awesome. In that case, we'll do the same thing tomorrow. And maybe you learn something from your friends too. So your poems will turn out even better. I think to myself, I did learn a little more about the kinds of poems everyone likes. With any luck, that means I can at least do a better job impressing those I want to impress. I nod to myself with newfound determination. Rachel, ready to walk home? Sure, let's go. Sayori beams at me. It truly has been a while since Sayori and I have spent this much time together. I can't really say I'm not enjoying it either. Sayori, about what happened earlier. What do you mean? You know, between Yuri and Natsuki. Does that kind of thing happen often? No! That's really the first time I've seen them fight like that. I promise they're both wonderful people. You don't hate them, do you? No, I don't hate them. I just wanted your opinion, that's all. I can see why they'd make good friends with you. Phew. You know, Rachel, it's nice that I get to spend time with you in the club, but I think seeing you get along with everyone is what makes me the happiest. And I think everyone really likes you too. That's... Every day is going to be so much fun. It looks like Sayori still hasn't caught on to the kind of situation I'm in. Sure, being friends with everyone is nice, but does it really need to stop there? We'll just have to see what the future holds, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. I said that more to myself than to her, but it's easy to use Sayori as an internal monologue sometimes. Okay. Yeah, let's do this. Okay, so that was day 1 for Sayori. So now we are going to load up. This will be Natsuki's route. Strawberry chocolate. No, I don't think that's her. Twirl. Sparkle? Oh, damn it. Anyway. Nightgown? Okay. Fireflies? Oh, damn. See, it's so hard because, like, some words you think are really cute and they'll go toward her, and then sometimes, and they don't. They go to Sayori. We're going with boop. Yeah, I'm gonna include that in a poem. I don't know how, but I will. Sugar. Sweet. Fuck! What the hell? Bouncy. Rainbow? Sayori! Stop! You're making this difficult. Ribbon. No, that's her. She wears a ribbon. Hop? Okay. Parfait. Okay. Pink. Papa? No. Socks. Sticky? Vanilla? Fuck. Okay, whatever. Nibble? And marshmallow. Okay. I really hope we got Natsuki. That was a hard one. I think we did. I will skip to like the new stuff. So I hear Natsuki utter an exasperated sigh from within the closet. She seems to be annoyed by something. I approach her in case she needs a hand. You looking for something in there? Freaking Monica. She never puts my stuff back in the right spot. What's the point in keeping your collection organized if someone else is just gonna mess it up? Natsuki slides a bunch of stacked books and boxes across the shelf. Manga. You read manga, right? Sometimes. Manga is one of those things where you can't admit you're really into until you figure out where the other person stands. How did you know anyway? I heard you bring it up at some point. Besides, it's kind of written on your face. What's that supposed to mean? I see. There's a lone volume of manga amidst a stack of various books on the side of one of the shelves. Curious, I pull it out of the stack. There it is! Natsuki snatches it out of my hand. She then turns to a box of manga and slips the volume right into the middle of the rest. Ah, much better. Seeing a box set with one book missing is probably the most irritating sight in the world. I know that feeling. I get a closer look at the box set she's admiring. Parfait Girls? It's a series I've never heard of in my life. That probably means it's either way out of my demographic or it's simply terrible. If you're gonna judge, you can go do it through the glass on that door. She points to the classroom door. Hey, I wasn't judging anything. I didn't even say anything. It was the tone of your voice. But I'll tell you... Oh. Dinner's coming back up. But I'll tell you one thing, Rachel. Consider this a lesson straight from a literature club. Don't judge a book by its cover. In fact, Natsuki pulls out the first volume of Parfait Girls from the box. I'm going to show you exactly why. She shoves the book right into my hands. I stare at the cover. It features 4 girls in colorful attire striking animated feminine poses. It's exceedingly moe. Don't just stand there. Ugh. Wah. 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 Natsuki grabs my arm and pulls me out of the closet. She then takes a seat against the wall beneath the windowsills. She pats on the ground next to her, signaling me to sit there. Wouldn't chairs be more comfortable? I take my seat. Chairs wouldn't work. We can't read at the same time like that. Why is that? I guess it's easier to be close together like this. Don't just say that. You'll make me feel weird about it. Natsuki crosses her arms and scooches an inch away from me. Sorry. I didn't exactly expect to be sitting this close to her either. Not that I can say it's a particularly bad thing. I opened the book. I want to make sure everything was recording, and it is. It's only a few seconds before Natsuki once again inches closer, reclaiming the additional space while she hopes I won't notice. I can feel her peering over my shoulder, much more eager to begin reading than I am. Wow, how long has it been since I read the beginning? You don't go back and flip through the older volumes every now and then? Not really. Maybe sometimes after I've already finished the series. Hey, are you paying attention? I am, but nothing's really happened yet, so I can talk at the same time. It looks like it's about a bunch of friends in high school. Typical slice-of-life affair. I kind of grew out of these since it's rare for the writing to be entertaining enough to make up for the lack of plot. So, what should I expect from this? Is there going to be plot? Well, obviously. You think I would enjoy something that didn't have a plot? I mean, well, I guess I know what you're saying. A lot of the beginning is about simple things. Like there's a really funny chapter where they're obsessed with a guy at the ice cream shop. But that just helps you get to know the characters. And besides, it's still entertaining. But later on, there's all kinds of drama. Like when they get into all their backstories and then when the romance starts to happen, that's really what makes it so good. There are so many touching parts. Oh, is that so? It sounds like you really know what you're talking about. Maybe I underestimated you. I thought you were a dumbass when I first met you, Natsuki. That's what I mean by that. Hey, wait. What's that supposed to mean? Oh, what? Natsuki gives me a little shove. I just meant that I haven't yet seen you at your full power. Good save. This chapter seems like it's about baking. This is just a guess, but is there a lot of baking in this manga? Well, Natsuki pauses for a moment, as if she doesn't want to admit something. Yeah? Why does that matter? It doesn't. I was just curious. Since you enjoy baking too, right? That's just a coincidence. I just happened to get into baking around the same time I got into this manga. Like I would ever get into something because it's in manga. I feel bad for anyone that impressionable. Definitely not a coincidence. I guess it explains Natsuki's interest in baking. Still, of all the hobbies to pick up from a manga, that's definitely one of the better ones. I'm trying to think of hobbies characters have. Not to mention she's really good at it, so who am I to judge? Aw, she's so cute. We read on for a few more minutes. See, she looks so much different in this picture than, like, her character model, like, when we're talking to her normally. I finished a couple chapters at this point. Are you sure this isn't boring for you? It's not. Even though you're just watching me read? Well, I'm fine with that. If you say so. I guess it's fun sharing something you like with someone else. I always get excited when I convince any of my friends to pick up a series I enjoy. You know what I mean? You don't? That's not... Well, I wouldn't really know. What do you mean? Don't you share your manga with your friends? Could you not rub it in? Jeez. Oh, sorry. I don't think I could ever get my friends to read this. They just think manga is for kids. I can't even bring it up with them without them being all like, you still haven't grown out of that yet? Makes me want to punch them in the face. Ugh, I know those kinds of people. Honestly, it takes a lot of effort to find friends who don't judge, much less friends who are also into it. I'm already kind of a loser, so I guess I gravitated toward the other losers over time. But it's probably harder for someone like you. Yeah, that's pretty accurate. Wait, which part? I mean, I feel like I can't even keep it in my own room. I don't even know what my dad would do if he found this. At least it's safe here in the club room. Except Monica was kind of a jerk about it. Ugh, I just can't win, can I? Well, it paid off in the end, didn't it? I mean, here I am, reading it. Well, it's not like that solves any of my problems. Maybe. But at least you're enjoying yourself, right? So? Geez, that's enough. Are you gonna keep reading or what? Yeah. I flip the page. Suddenly Natsuki starts laughing. I totally forgot that happens. Natsuki puts her finger on one of the panels. Minori is my favorite character. You always feel a little bad for her since she's so unlucky, but it gets especially bad when... Oh, I shouldn't be talking about that yet. Just finish this chapter. Natsuki's voice sparkles with excitement. It's a stark contrast to her usual bossy tone. But if she's not used to sharing her favorite manga with her friends, I can understand why. It's hard to express in words the feeling you get when connecting with someone like that. And being able to provide that to Natsuki, for whom it's a rare experience, the thought makes me smile a little to myself. Okay, everyone. Are you all ready with today's poems? Oh, come on! Could your timing be any worse? Sorry, I just need to make sure we have enough time. Though you do look pretty cozy over there. Natsuki suddenly notices how close she's gotten to me. She hastily slides herself a good 12 inches away from me. Why not just say a foot? Alright, I guess I'll stop here for now. I close the book and hand it towards Natsuki. You're just giving it back? Don't you want to know what happens? Yeah, but Monica just said, don't be dumb. Just take it home with you. Is that really alright? I say that mostly because I really didn't plan on using my spare time to read this. God, he's such a fucking jerk. Just read it. You get through manga fast. Well, of course. It would take forever to finish if you didn't take it home. Just finish that one before tomorrow so we can start the next one. And if it gets bent, I'll kill you. By tomorrow? I only got partway through the volume so far. I might fall behind on some shows if I try to get through this. But I suppose it's a necessary sacrifice in exchange for seeing Natsuki's enthusiastic face. Or am I more scared of what will happen if I don't finish it? Alright then. I stand up. I return to where I put my stuff and carefully slip the book into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem? Okay, we're just gonna skip this. We're gonna go with Natsuki first. I told Natsuki I was interested in her poems yesterday. It's probably only fair if I shared mine with her first. So Natsuki's poem is titled Natsuki's Favorite Things. I realized while I was writing this that it's kind of a spoiler, but also not, I guess. I don't know. It depends on like how you perceive it, I guess. Natsuki likes to think of her most favorite things, like puppy's breath instead of the smell of alcohol on Papa's breath when he's angry, pretty sparkles on pretty dresses, and beautiful fireflies glowing so bright instead of the orange ashes of Papa's cigarettes, fluffy cupcakes, strawberry and vanilla, icing sugar sweet, and baby pink instead of empty cabinets and fridges and bellies. Rainbow socks, perfect for bouncing and twirling and hopping and sneaking past Papa sleeping in his chair, footsteps as light as a feather and as soft as a marshmallow. She thinks of cute boops on the nose instead of rough hands that leave marks on her arms. She dreams of nibbling on crunchy granola from a delicious parfait, peach juice sticky on her fingers. She dreams of this as she sleeps, restless in bed, in her favorite nightgown, hoping, praying that Papa won't come home angry again and wake her up. Natsuki likes to think of her favorite things. That's her poem. So, it kind of sucks that I've played this game before, so I know what's going to happen. But for anyone who hasn't played the game, maybe that'll pique your curiosity a little bit to watch this playthrough or go watch another playthrough, you know, people that have already played it all the way through. But yeah, that was Natsuki's poem. Okay, well, let's start with the things I don't like. First of all, Natsuki rereads my poem. Never mind, I don't feel like giving you my opinion. Well, then what's the point of sharing in the first place? I wrote this when I could have been doing other things. In fact, remember how I said I wanted to read your poems? That's what I had in mind when writing this. I want to help you feel comfortable enough to share yours. Like Monica said. Well, I would be more comfortable sharing my poem if yours was really bad. You were supposed to show me some dumb poem and make me go, ha, well, it looks like it's not that great, but let me show you what real literature looks like. And you went and ruined it. I hope you're happy. So in other words, you're saying you liked it. Ugh. Natsuki's retort gets caught in her throat. Oh, you're so... You don't understand anything, do you? I already told you that. You don't have to go announcing it to the world like you're all self-important. Pretty sure you never actually said that. I say that mostly to myself. Natsuki might really hate me or something. Or must really hate me or something. I can't figure out if it's a win or a loss that she liked my poem. In any case, you still need to show me yours, right? Grr. Fine, I guess. Only because Monica will make me if I don't. So, Sayuri and Yuri's reactions are the same, so that's why I didn't include them in this. But Monica has something new to say. I like it, Rachel. Really? It's a lot cuter than I expected. Oh geez. No. It kind of makes me think of something Natsuki would write. And she's a good writer, too. So take that as a compliment. If you say so. Yep. By any chance, have you read anything by Shel Silverstein? Maybe a long time ago. He's famous for telling all kinds of stories in just a few simple words. His poems can be funny, endearing, or even sad. And sometimes they're only a few lines long. They might even feel like they're written for kids, but if you think about them, they can express views of the world that would apply to anybody. I see. So you're saying that Natsuki is kind of like that. Sort of. Maybe she's not an expert. But you probably won't find much filler in her poems. They might be easy to write, but they're super challenging to get the meaning through. So I can see why it would be your kind of poem to explore. I'm sure I'll end up trying different things a lot. It could take a while before I feel comfortable doing this. That's okay. And yeah. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. And it's basically the same here on out, and they have their fight. But we're going to side with Natsuki this time. Yuri, you're really talented. Well, but Natsuki has a point. I think that I rack my brain and attempt to back myself up. I think that conveying feelings with few words can be just as impressive as well. It lets the reader's imagination take over, and Natsuki's poem did a really good job at that. Yeah, it did, didn't it? Aha! Aha! Just how much you know. That's not... Natsuki. I think that's enough. Huh? Me? But she was so mean to me. Natsuki's voice whines. Look, what we talked about yesterday was right. Writing is a really personal thing, and sharing it can definitely be hard. Looks like we learned that today. Even small criticism can lead to something pretty heated. I glance over my shoulder. Sayuri is nodding vigorously. Yeah, so you don't need to feel threatened. You're a great writer, Natsuki. Natsuki's voice gets caught in surprise. Thanks for noticing. She finally mutters that, barely audible. Yuri? Yuri looks at me dejectedly. With a face like that, I can't help but feel bad for her as well. I'm sure that Natsuki didn't mean everything she said. So you don't need to feel threatened either. Well, if you say so. Hey! It's not like you need to apologize for me, Rachel. Sheesh. Natsuki takes a breath. The thing about... Natsuki glances around the room. Would everyone stop staring at me? Unsurprisingly, Natsuki has a harder time with it than she boasted. Sayori and Monica look away. Anyway, the thing about... the thing about your boobs, I didn't mean it, okay? That's all. Natsuki looks away, avoiding eye contact with everyone. Yeah, you're naturally beautiful, Yuri. Sayori? I'll go make some tea. Huh? I was just trying to help. I'm sure she appreciated it, Sayori. I pat Sayori on the shoulder. Well, now that we're past that, everyone's read each other poems, right? I hope that it was worthwhile for everyone. Especially you, Rachel. And to be honest, it's a nice change of pace from the lazing around we got a little too used to. So my joining the club was responsible for ruining the atmosphere. No, not at all. Not at all. There's still some time before we go home, so we'll all relax for a bit. Of course, besides chatting, we do literature-related things in the club room, so maybe you can take the chance to pick up a book or do some writing. After all, that's what the club is for. I disagree, Monica. Huh? What about? That's not the most important thing about the literature club. The most important thing is having fun. Of course. Well, I guess that's why you're the vice president, Sayori. In the end, though, Monica's right. Being in the literature club probably means I can't spend all my time doing nothing. But in the end, I guess it's been worth it so far. Okay, everyone. It's just about time for us to leave. Okay, this is normal stuff. So, we are back to writing a poem. So we're going to load. This will be Yuri's route. Da-na-na-na. Meager. Heaven sent. Fester. Unending. Electricity. I love a song. Tenacious, I don't really know what that word means. Oh well. Graveyard. Whirlwind. Disaster. Philosophy. Starscape. What? Fantasy. Is it a Natsuki word? Incapable. After image. Aura. Massacre. Uncanny. I know disarray. God, what? Okay. I feel like dream is a Siri word. Empty? Pleasure. So we are to the new stuff for Yuri's route. I'm really curious to talk to Yuri a little bit more. But at the same time, I would feel bad for distracting her from reading. I catch a glimpse of the cover of her book. It looks like the same book that she lent to me. More than that, she seems to be on the first few pages. Crap. I think she noticed me looking at her. She sneaks another glance at me, and our eyes meet for a split second. But that only makes her hide her face deeper in her book. Sorry, I was just spacing out. I mutter this, sensing I made her uncomfortable. Oh, it's fine. If I was focused, then I probably wouldn't have noticed in the first place. But I'm just rereading a bit of this, so... That's the book that you gave me, right? Mm-hmm. I wanted to reread some of it. Not for any particular reason. Just curious, how come you have 2 copies of the same book? Well, when I stopped at the bookstore yesterday... that's not what I meant. I mean, I just happened to buy 2 of them. Ah, I see. There's something fairly obvious here that Yuri isn't telling me, but I decide to let it go. I'll definitely start reading it soon. I'm glad to hear. Once it starts to pick up, you might have a hard time putting it down. It's a very engaging and relatable story. Is that so? What's it about anyway? Well, Yuri closes the book and scans her eyes over the back. The book is titled Portrait of Markov. There's an ominous-looking eye symbol on the front cover. Alright, I just wanted to make sure I don't accidentally give anything away. Basically, it's about this girl in high school who moves in with her long-lost younger sister. But as soon as she does so, her life gets really strange. She gets targeted by these people who escaped from a human experiment prison. And while her life is in danger, she needs to desperately choose who to trust. No matter what she does, she ends up destroying most of her relationships and her life starts to fall apart. That's kind of dark, isn't it? That sounds exactly like a book I would read. I gotta be honest. I read a lot of, like, horror, thriller, stuff like that. Though I try to diversify. So I have, like... I don't know, you would have to see my bookshelf. Yuri made it sound like it was going to be a nice story, so that dark turn came from nowhere. Yuri gently giggles all of a sudden. Are you not a fan of that sort of thing, Rachel? No, it's not that. I mean, I can definitely enjoy those kinds of stories, so don't worry. I hope so. Yeah, I totally forgot that Yuri is into those things. She's so shy and reclusive on the outside, but her mind seems to be completely different. It's just that those kinds of stories, they challenge you to look at life from a strange new perspective. When horrible things happen, not just because someone wants to be evil, but because they have their own goals or their own philosophy that they believe in. Then suddenly, when you thought you related to the protagonist, they're made out to be the naive one for letting their one-sided morals interfere with the villain's plans. I'm rambling, aren't I? Not again. I'm sorry. Hey, don't apologize. I haven't lost interest or anything. Well, I guess it's alright then. But I feel like I should let you know that I have this problem. When I let things like books and writings fill my thoughts, I kind of forget to pay attention to other people. So, I'm sorry if I end up saying something strange, and please stop me if I start talking too much. I really don't think you need to worry. That just means you're passionate about reading. The least I can do is listen. It's a literature club after all. That's true. In fact, I might as well get started reading it, right? You don't have to. What are you saying? Just a moment ago you said you were looking forward to it. Let me just get the book. I quickly retrieved the book that I had put into my bag. Alright, it's fine if I sit here, right? I slip into the seat next to Yuri's. Yeah. Are you sure? You seem a little apprehensive. I'm sorry. It's not that I don't want you to. It's just something I'm not very used to. That is, reading in company with someone. I see. Well, just tell me if I end up distracting you or anything. Alright. I open the book and start the prologue. I soon understand what Yuri means about reading in company. It's as if I can feel her presence over my shoulder as I read. That's not a particularly bad thing. Maybe a little distracting, but the feeling is somewhat comforting. Yuri is in the corner of my eye. I realize that she's not actually looking at her own book. I glance over. It looks like she's reading from my book instead. Sorry, I was just... Yuri, you really apologize a lot, don't you? I do? I don't really mean to. Sorry. I mean... Here, this should work, right? I slide my desk until it's up against Yuri's, then hold my book more between the two of them. I suppose so. Yuri timidly closes her own copy. Once we each lean in a little bit, our shoulders are almost touching. It feels like my left arm is in the way, so instead I use my right hand to open the book open. I guess that makes it kind of difficult to turn the page. Here. Yuri takes her left arm and holds the left side of the book between her thumb and forefinger. I do the same with my right arm on the right side of the book. That way, I turn a page and Yuri slides it under her thumb after it flips to her side. But in holding it like this, we're huddled even closer together than before. It's actually kind of distracting me. It's as if I can feel the warmth of Yuri's face and she's in the corner of my vision. Are you ready? To turn the page. Sorry. I think I got a bit distracted for a second. I glance over at Yuri's face again, and our eyes meet. I don't know how I'll be able to keep up with her. That's okay. You're not as used to reading, right? I'm sorry, it's like so... The thing is, I don't know how to read. I played this game last year. So one of my brother's friends was our roommate for a while, and he had never seen Doki Doki Literature Club before. His girlfriend had though, so like me, my best friend, him and his girlfriend, we all played it together, and that was the voice that I used for the protagonist. He would die laughing. Like, yeah, I don't know how to read. Like, just... And I remember he would try and, like, mimic it, and he couldn't really get it. It's just, he'd be like, how do you do it? I'm like, I don't know. You, like, close your throat, kind of. I don't know how to explain it. You're not used to reading, right? It's just... I don't mind being patient if it takes you a bit longer. Sorry, Yuri. I have a first grade level reading ability. It's probably the least I can do, since you've been so patient with me. Yeah, thanks. We continue reading. Yuri no longer asks me if I'm ready to turn the page. Instead, I just assume that she finishes the page before me, so I turn it by my own volition. I did this with somebody in elementary school. It was me and my best friend at the time. And she was a much faster reader than I was. I mean, I wasn't really slow, but like, I got to the point where I didn't even ask. I just flipped it, and she never said anything, so hopefully she was as fast as I thought she was. I think we were reading... Oh, what was it called? It was something about, like, an animal rescue. It was an animal rescue book. I don't remember what it was called, though. We continue the first chapter in silence. Even so, turning each page almost feels like an intimate exchange. It did not feel that way. It did not feel that way. My thumb gently letting go of the page, letting it flutter over to her side as she catches it under her own thumb. He's just a horn dog. Hey, Yuri. This might be a silly thought, but the main character kind of reminds me of you a little bit. You think so? How does she? Well, I guess she's more blunt in a lot of ways, but she also second guesses all of the things that she says and does. Like she's afraid she'll do something wrong. It's not like I can see into your head or anything, but they're kind of reminiscent of some of your mannerisms. I see. Yuri remained silent for a moment. But Rachel, that's probably a terrible thing to have in common with her. Ugh, it's so embarrassing that you think that. Oh, wait, I didn't mean it in a bad way or anything. Sorry, I really didn't know you were self-conscious about that sort of thing. I guess I more meant that it's kind of cute. Okay. I don't know. Maybe it's just not... I would relate so much to, like, someone second-guessing themselves. Like, I do that all the time. I think me doubting myself has kept me from, like, pursuing so many opportunities in life. There's a little bit of realism dropped into this make-believe game. What are you saying all of a sudden? Okay, everyone. Ah! I think it's about time we share today's poems with each other. We might not have enough time if we wait too long. Yuri exhales, spared from finishing her thoughts. Is that alright, Yuri? You look kind of down. I'm sorry if you haven't been looking forward to this. Oh, it's not. It's fine. Yuri releases her hand from the book, causing it to close on top of my thumb. Alright. I guess I'll do some more reading tonight. Or would you prefer I only read it with you? I guess I don't have too much of a preference in either way. In that case, I'll read a little more tonight. It'll be more fun to read with you after it picks up a bit, you know? That's good reasoning. In that case, feel free to finish the first 2 chapters in your own time. Alright. I stand up. I make a mental note of where I left off in the book, then slip it back into my bag. By the way, did you remember to write a poem? Yep, okay, we're back to familiar territory. So we will go with Yuri first. Yuri seems the most experienced, so I should start with her. I can trust her opinion to be fair. So Yuri's poem was surprisingly hard to write. I mean, it's like, look at this. That's what it looks like. I don't know. That's not really a poem, but yeah. I wouldn't really call it a short story either. But I had to look up the definitions of some of these words. So if I use them wrong, forgive me. I don't use words like tenacious or after image or shit like that in my everyday language. Fester, I don't use that. Or meager. So here's Yuri's poem. Oh, I'm going to title it The Heaven Sent Hero. A portrait of Markov sits open on her desk. The weird girl is reading that creepy book again, a classmate says. She's such a loser. She hears them but doesn't listen. She knows that if they spent one day in her head, they would understand what it's like inside the unending whirlwind of thoughts that crowd her mind. In her fantasies, she's the heaven-sent hero. Her gentle aura calms others. She's as beautiful as a never-ending starscape. Her witty remarks are like a crack of electricity, leaving behind a festering wound in her enemy's confidence. She massacres the villains without blinking an eye, battlefield turned graveyard, nary a soul to be seen. Her classmates wouldn't understand. Their heads are too empty. They're incapable of understanding the pleasure being the heaven-sent hero is. They wouldn't understand how she clings tenaciously to the after-image of her fantasies. Yeah. I don't know about that line. Her classmates would never understand what it's like to say something so benign, but it becomes another's philosophy. They wouldn't understand how giving a stranger a meager hunk of bread will have its rewards later down the line. They could never understand how uncannily close her thoughts are to an incoming disaster. One more negative thought will have her spiral out of control. But for now, she reads her book and lives in her daydreams. So that's Yuri's poem. If you want to call it a poem, I don't know if that's a poem. I'm not too familiar with poetry. Unless you count the stuff that I wrote in, grade school. But that was many years ago, so it's been a hot minute since I've done any poetry. But yeah, those were day one's poems. Who knows what day two poems will bring. Back to the game. As Yuri reads the poem, I notice her eyes lighten. Exceptional. What was that? Did I say that out loud? Yuri first covers her mouth, but then ends up covering her whole face. He's going to hate me. You really didn't do anything wrong, Yuri. I guess you're right. What am I getting so nervous for? Yuri takes a breath. So, what kind of writing experience do you have? Your use of imagery and metaphors indicates you've written a lot of poetry before. I used to pronounce this word imagery, and I played this with another friend. I played this a lot with different people. And she looked at me and she's like, it's imagery, not imagery. Can you blame me though? Imagery. 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 That makes sense too. No, I'm breaking it. Imagery. Shut up. Actually, when I was in middle school, there were two words. I don't know why I pronounced them like this. But determine and decipher. Determine I used to pronounce determine. And decipher dekipper. I didn't know. It didn't take until I was... Get this. This is so embarrassing. This would make Yuri die of embarrassment. I was in a reading circle. This was in 7th grade. And I said dekipper in front of everybody. And they all kind of laughed. And they're like, it's decipher. And I just looked at the word. I'm like... Oh. Well, now I know a new word. I knew that word. I've seen it before many times, but now I know how to pronounce it. I don't know. I don't know. Though it's weird. I've always had the... I can spell words, but pronouncing them is different. It's a completely different thing for me. That's my embarrassing story of the day. Really? Wow, that's a huge compliment coming from you. This is actually my first time, really. Huh? Yuri stares at me blankly, then looks at my poem again. Well, I know that. I just meant, Yuri trails off, unable to find an excuse. She traces her finger along the words in the poem, as if breaking it down more thoroughly. Yeah, okay. This is the reason I was able to tell. It's just that there are specific writing habits. Okay, she says this already. So... Hold on. Okay. Hold on, we're gonna go back. So, it's we said that her poem's a lot more solemn than, we figured out. It's nothing really. Yours was impressive too, so... Nah. If anything, I could probably learn a thing or two from you. You think so? Yeah, of course. You know, I was really nervous about doing all this, but in the end, I enjoyed it. I'm going to keep doing my best for you, Rachel. Me too. So we'll go with Sayori. I will see if there's anything new. Nope. So hers is normal. I know Natsuki's changes. Rachel, if you're not going to take this club seriously, then go home. What? Harsh? What? You expect me to believe that you actually put effort into this? Do you think I'm stupid? I'm not a writer. Maybe it's not very good, but yeah, I did put in effort. We all start somewhere, right? If you're still proud of the first poem you ever wrote, then I'd like to read it. Painful to think about? Fine. Well, sorry. You'll get better anyway. I'll tell you what to improve, but you're better off just trying again. Fair enough. Well, to each their own, I guess. Anyway, I guess I gotta share mine now. Knowing you, you'll probably think it's stupid. Yep, and then we say we like it, and she's surprised, and now we're going to Monica. Great job, Rachel. I was going ooh in my head while reading it. It's really metaphorical. I'm not sure why, but I didn't expect you to go for something so deep. 'Cause I thought you were an idiot. I guess I underestimated you. And your first grade level reading ability. It's easiest for me to keep everyone's expectations low. That way it always counts when I put in some effort. That's not very fair. Well, I guess it worked anyway. You know what? You know that Yuri likes this kind of writing, right? Writing that's full of imagery and symbolism. Unlike Sayori, who likes using simple and direct words to describe happiness and sadness, Yuri likes it when readers are left to derive their own meaning out of it. It's very challenging to write like that effectively, both allowing people to get something out of it just by feel, or letting them deeply analyze all of the nuances. It can take years of practice, which I'm assuming Yuri has at this point. I never really asked, though. I'm sure I'm nowhere near her level yet. Don't worry so much about that. You do your own thing. Just keep exploring and learn by trying new things. And then we see her poem. And we go through the fight again. And this time we are going to side with Yuri. Natsuki, you're right that I liked your poem. See? Wait. That's not an excuse for you to be so mean. You shouldn't pick a fight just because someone's opinion is different. That's not what happened at all. Yuri wouldn't even take my poem seriously. I understand. Yuri? Huh? You're a seriously talented writer. It's no secret that I was impressed. Well, But here's the thing. No matter how simple or refined someone's writing style is, they're still putting feelings into it, and it becomes something really personal. That's why Natsuki felt threatened when you said her poem was cute. I see. I didn't notice that I'm sorry. But Natsuki, you took it way too far. Yuri means well, and you just told her how you felt. And if you just told her how you felt, then this wouldn't have happened in the first place. Are you kidding? That's exactly what I did. It was her that... Natsuki, I think that's enough. You both said some things that you didn't mean. Yuri apologized. Don't you think you should too? Natsuki clenches her fists. In the end, nobody has taken her side. She's trapped. At this point, being defiant, Okay. Red, leather, yellow, red, leather, yellow. Okay, I got it. She's trapped at this point, being defiant only because she can't handle the pressure. I end up even feeling bad for her. Sometimes when I'm hurt, it helps to take a walk and clear my head. Sayori, she doesn't need to. You know what? I'm going to do that. It'll spare me from having to look at all your faces right now. Without warning, Natsuki snatches her own poem up from the desk and storms out. On her way out, she crumbles up the poem with her hands and throws it in the trash. No! That is so sad. No, don't do that. Natsuki. She really didn't need to do that. But her feelings are hurt. I look across the room. Yuri has her chin buried in her hands while she stares down at her desk. I gingerly approach her and sit in an adjacent chair. Everything alright? I'm so embarrassed. I can't believe I acted like that. You probably hate me now. No, Yuri! How could anyone not have gotten frustrated after being treated like that? You handled it as well as anyone could. I don't think any less of you. Well, alright, I believe you. Thanks, Rachel. You're too kind. I'm thankful to have you part of this club now. It's nothing. One more thing. That one thing that Natsuki said about, you know, I would never do anything so shameful. So, huh? What thing did Natsuki say? Well, never mind that. I'm going to go make some tea. Good idea. Make enough for more than one person, okay? Yeah. And that is it. So, that is where I'm going to leave off this episode. Yeah, I will write the poems off camera, and then I will film myself. I'll record myself, like, reading them out loud. And, yeah. I don't know. I thought it was just, like something different for me to do, since I've played this game so much. There's, like, little things about this that I don't remember. Like, normally when I play this on my own, I just always pick Sayori to, like, defuse the fight. So, going with Yuri and Natsuki's options, like, I always forget what the dialogue is between them after that. So, yeah, I completely forgot. Like, Natsuki just crumbles up her paper and throws it away. That's so sad. I'm sorry, but that's sad. So, yeah, that'll be it. So, in the next episode, we will tackle day 2. Or is it day 3? I guess it's technically day 3. And, like, this episode, we'll just go through all the routes again. And, yeah. So, with that, thank you so much for watching. This was Late Night Gaming. If you like this video and you want to see more, you can click that subscribe button. And while you're down there, you can also leave a like and a comment. I will link in the description below. I will link a description. Fuck. In the description below, I will link. I will have. Okay, in the description below, I have a link to the other visual novel that actually, no, there's 2 of them, I guess. There's 2 visual novels I've played on my channel. One is to Coffee Talk, which is this, like, cozy game that's, you are a barista, you own your own coffee shop, and you serve coffee to different, like, fantasy characters. Like, there's elves and orcs and mer people and stuff like that. Astronauts. And then the second visual novel I've played is Danganronpa, the first one. I had never played either of those games before. Danganronpa, oh my god, it was what a journey. Both of them are really good though, for different reasons. So I'll have the links to those playlists down below. And with that, I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.